Howdy, my fellow Homo sapiens watching this video. I hope you're having a great Monday. So I'm out here, out in the Sonoma Coast State Park, and this trail, the Pomo Canyon Trail, going up to Red Hill, which is behind this tree. It's a wonderful place, a prime example of why maintaining habitat is essential. And what we're doing here is we're going to give a plant ID, talk about some ecology of this coastal chaparral and mixed evergreen forests that occurs here in the coastal mountain ranges of Northern California. And I'd like to start off with acknowledging the importance that the Pomo people had, the ones who are indigenous to this region, the Chicaya Pomo, the role that they had in maintaining these ecosystems for thousands of years. They did an excellent job, couldn't do it better. And I want to say thank you to all of them, and thank you to everybody who is doing their part in habitat restoration, conservation, studying ecology. That list goes on. Anything that they can do for our sacred earth, I commend them for that. And so let's get moving along, huh? So I stop at this little spot here just to catch my breath, going up some maybe 1,000 feet, maybe 900 or 800 feet in elevation for a couple of miles. Going through some gorgeous redwood forest, by the way, down there, further down the trail. And wow, but you come up here and you're greeted with this glorious view out to the ocean. But I turn around right here. Now, if you don't see anything, I don't blame you, but we're here to learn, all right? And beautiful little bird song. And so I see grass, I see this shrubbery, coyote bush, but you see the little white flower right here? So this caught my attention, not only because it's vibrant, but what we have here is the rain orchid, Platanthera elegans. Now, first glance, you wouldn't really think this looks like an orchid. You might be thinking about those ones that you get from the store. That'd be a totally different group of orchids. These are ground orchids. Those from the store are epiphytic orchids. That's a whole nother subject. So back to Platanthera elegans here. See these little like, I can't even really get into it, but yeah. But anyways, cute little orchid. Wanted to share that. Bright little flowers. Wonder if it has a scent. Not quite. It might be a little spent. But yeah, that's popping up. It's been hot. It's been dry. We had a little shower around like September 1st or 2nd. It was brief. It was nice. It was a nice day. Oh, here comes the bikers. Hold on. Hi. I thought that was a turkey. It was his wheels. Man, that's kind of disconcerting. Or maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. Not a biker. Used to be. So, all right, here. Back to that little shrub. Dominant shrub in this ecosystem is the coyote brush. This fella. that is botanically known as Baccharis pilularis, and this is the subspecies consanguinea, because it's a little bit more of an upright shrub than a sprawling shrub. And but here, the coyote brush gets its name because the common name, look, because these seeds heads right here, which are like dandelion seeds, because they're in the same family. See? I don't know if you can even see that, but anyways, little dandelion heads. This is in the family Asteraceae. That'd be the daisy family, the family that has the dandelions. They all reproduce this way, airborne seed pod structures. Also in this community of plants, there are little pockets of conifers. The two dominant conifers you see in this landscape are going to be the Douglas fir, that one, Pseudotsuga menziesii, and over there on the hill, that's Red Hill by the way, is a pocket, an isolated pocket of a redwood forest that's been surviving off of the fog that's been rolling on this coastline, you know, probably for a very long time. Some very old trees up there, and because of the shallow soil, they grow pretty tall, but I think those could have been taller, but had they had more available moisture and nutrients. But they've made their own little island up there of habitat, and that's where we're going. All right, let's first roll. So the ecology of this landscape is, well, it has all these pockets of open lands, and these open lands contribute to the lives of, well, essentially coyotes, bears, and mountain lions. All of the wildlife benefit because these are, well, how do I put it? Under the canopy of all of this shrubbery is a vast network of little tunnels. It's basically like being in a forest under these. And so there's lots of cover, places to gather, stash your resources if you're an animal, a small animal, say a shrew, a field mouse, a vole, a squirrel. And there's a lot of food available because one of the other most abundant plants in this ecosystem is right here. This twiggy thing is poison oak. There's some of its fruit. Pretty much this and the California native blackberry are the two staples of this plant community for the wildlife that includes birds. So it's a very biodiverse ecosystem. In stark contrast to the redwood forest, which, because of the intense competition for light, space, and resources, is generally pretty limited to what can grow there. So ecologically, it's still very diverse, but not as much as these open spaces where there's a lot more, you could say, ecological activity, such as, well, the hunting, you know, by birds of prey and predators, and the eating of several resources, of plant resources, by the smaller animals that are prey to such predators. And you know, that's the cycle of life. That's how it goes. You know, another group of plants that really is abundant in these open fields are many varieties of bulbs. Most of them have recessed into the ground, and they will show themselves after the rains have come. But it's not exactly a bulb, it's a rhizomatous plant right there, the Douglas iris. Gorgeous, iris flowers that come out in the spring. And it's a great plant because the rhizomes probably provide a lot of carbohydrates. There's a nice Douglas fir, huh? A young one, give or take 15 or 20 years old. Could have been, maybe it's a little older, but these plants grow fast as hell. I'd say at about a foot a year, and the more water you give them, the faster they'll grow. Because they can, conifers, with the exclusion of certain types, mostly like it wet. And here's the foliage of the Douglas fir, Pseudotsuga minzii. So pseudo meaning false, Suga meaning hemlock trees. When the botanists were naming this plant, it resembles its cousin, the Suga, which are the hemlocks. I can kind of see that. They look similar. This species grows all throughout the Rockies, with several different subspecies that occur in the Rockies, the Great Basin, Sierra Nevadas, and the California coastal ranges, all the way up into, I believe their native range is all the way up until like Alberta, or like way northern British Columbia, Canada. And has these glaucous undersides. That's pretty nice. The wax. It's got the stomatal wax protecting itself from drying out, and the UV radiation. Sad to say that both of the two most abundant conifers in this region were extremely marketable to the lumber industry, which is no longer here in this region. And there was a lot of clear cutting going on, and that was about 80 years ago when it stopped. And well, this is what's left of it, and the regeneration has been going on. I don't doubt that this slope wasn't always open grassland. It could have been dominated by Douglas fir, or the Douglas fir is encroaching onto it. It's hard to say. Here we got California coastal classic, the coffee berry, Frangula californica. And it gets its name, the coffee berry, because of these berries. Don't eat these, by the way. They contain a very powerful diuretic, meaning like you have I think just a few of them, you're going to shit your pants. So don't do it. And anyways, those berries have a seed in it that resembles a coffee bean, not actually a bean, but just a seed. And yeah, they're not related at all. This plant is in the Rhamnaceae, which is the buckthorn family. Pretty common in most temperate parts of the world, and they're notable for plants like the California lilac, and like the Mediterranean buckthorn. I mean, those are the two most like planted things in horticulture in that family, if that's helpful at all. But I appreciate this plant for its wonderful tropical-esque foliage. White, big, wide, glossy leaves. And I wish I would see this more in horticulture, because it's a plant that's very easy to maintain, grows fairly quickly, and it doesn't require a tremendous amount of water. It's fairly drought tolerant once it's established. And ecologically, those berries, back to those berries, they provide great food source for many birds, because I think their bodies aren't affected by the diuretic effects of the berries, and they must just eat them whole and poop the seeds out somewhere somewhere. So that's that. Frangula californica, great plant. And here's a little gulch from a spring, I think, that is further up the hill. So in these little places, riparian corridors, you'll find a little bit more water-loving types of plants, such as this fella. This is, hold up. Ooh, we got a tan oak up there too. Struggling. This guy. That's a tan oak right there. This little tree, covered in lichen. And tan oak is much more abundant in the understory of the redwood trees. And they are an oak relative. And Notholithocarpus densiflorus is its botanical name. And being in the oak family, it does produce acorns. And those acorns provide a tremendous food source for wildlife and people. So back to the more riparian stuff down there. There's no water at the moment because of the dry season. So here, I'll start with that guy right there. See these pretty simple looking leaves. It's a very unassuming plant, but it is actually one of my favorites. It's called the oso berry. Oso in Spanish means bear. So this plant is in the rose family, the Rosaceae, and it produces these big plum-like berries, and they taste very good. They're not too sweet. They kind of taste like plum and blueberry, and they kind of have a little bit of a earthiness to it, but it's pretty good. The botanical name is Oemleria cerasiformis. And what else do we have here? In this ravine, I want to get a look at this guy right here. The twinberry. There's still some bloom. Goodness. There we are. The twinberry honeysuckle, Lonicera involucrata. Beautiful fuzzy-ish. See the fuzz on the margins of the leaves right there? They're quite fuzzy. That indicates to you that fuzz. And the fuzz, the fuzz is for being able to handle periods of drying out. It's an evolutionary adaptation to a seasonably dry environment, which we are in. And this plant, the twinberry honeysuckle, occurs all over coastal California and also the Sierra Nevada ranges. And the honeysuckles are in their own family called the Caprifoliaceae. Pretty neat family, and they mostly look alike. Okay, and the last little friend of ours that occurs in these little ravines where there's just a little bit more water is going to be, just trying to get a good look of them in the shade. Now, this guy, one moment please, IDing. Okay, this is a very stressed out individual of the California hazelnut, Corylus cornuta. And yeah, it's going through a little struggle. Down in the redwood forest further down the trail, there were so many of them that they formed a thick canopy, and it felt like you were in a temperate rainforest pretty much. So in the shade they do a lot better than in these more exposed areas. But it must have been brought here because a squirrel or something, left its stash here, and it grew from these hazelnuts. I haven't tried one, but I'd imagine they're pretty good. Anyways, moving along. Beautiful views. It's a beautiful day. It was 86, 88 out in the Santa Rosa region. A lot hotter elsewhere, I'm sure. Okay, now this poor thing, I feel terrible looking at it, but it'll turn greener, I promise. This is a really good example of that being in the understory of this dense canopy of the coyote brush shrubs. There is an abundance of yerba buena, Clinopodium douglasii, another species right here of honeysuckle. This is the pink honeysuckle, known as Lonicera hispidula. And here's that blackberry, Rubus ursinus. And what else do I see here? That's most of it. A lot of food there. The blackberries, there's some little osoberry right there. So the blackberries give fruit in the summer. So do the honeysuckles. Been seeing quite a few of them on the trail with berries on the ends of their vines. Good stuff. Don't eat any of those too. I mean, the blackberries are okay. They're not like the ones you buy from the store, because these are wild. Here's a nice shot in the shade of the coffee berry. I would show you those seeds, but here, I'm cleaning the seed. One sec. Yeah. Kinda. You can kind of see the resemblance to a coffee bean a little bit. Anyways, I'm gonna go plant this. Maybe I should just grow it from seed. I've been meaning to do that. In the pocket you go. Hopefully the friction from my pocket and the heat from that friction will cause a little bit of scarification to get it to work. Usually that's all you need for treating seeds is the scarification process, and that process mimics the effect of a wildfire per se, or other kind of major disturbance that plants usually require to be able to, well, essentially germinate. A good example of this in the wild would be after a wildfire, there will be a lot more shrubbery, particularly like these guys, the coyote bushes, because the heat from the ground, the heat from the fire and the ashes that are deposited, the heat triggers the activation of the germination process, and the remaining ashes serve as a fertilizer, rich in carbon, and I'm sure other traces of things that are essential for plant life. Anyways, the sun is in my face. And so, as you can see, the grass is brown, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, that's kind of unappealing. And to some respect, I would agree with that sentiment. Yet, please consider this. Again, this is a seasonably dry environment, and it gets warm, not for long, especially here on the coast. But there's a period where in about March or April, the temperatures will have risen enough to a point where precipitation is less, and it's just less common because of, I think, essentially the change in the current or something. And oh boy. And looks like there was a fire under there. That's a good thing. That's what I like to see. And hooty boy. Sorry, distracted by the view. See what I mean? You destroy this, all of that effort into just building a bunch of homes, and all that is just at a junk pile now. Most of that redwood that was cut, redwood and Douglas fir that was cut to build up California, most of it went to building San Francisco. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. The seasonably dry environment and the brown grass. Now, for starters, this grass we're looking at all right, is not native. Most of it is not native. Like, what is this? Hedgehog dogtail or something? And got rattlesnake grass. We got friggin' oats. This ecosystem used to be, well, this ecosystem of the grasslands that California used to have in abundance was dominated by many different species of bunch grass. And the bunch grasslands looked very different from this. And I'll show you. Yeah, here's some of that. This is a dense thicket, an impenetrable thicket, really. And you're going to be covered. Imagine being a little mouse or something, trying to take cover from your predators, and your only choice was to move through this. You could relate if you've had this stuff in your socks, stick to your pants. It's bad. It's an awful feeling. Imagine that being on your body, covered in fur, but still. And these invasive grasses, which were brought in because Europeans, when they settled here, brought cattle with them. And I'm sure those seeds were in the hay bales that they brought with them. And yeah, that was eventually just a brief little while later that those, well, of course, that kept coming along. It's not like it all came from one seed. I mean, essentially it did, but it all just starts with one. And like all things in laws of nature of entropy, they will continue to get worse if conditions are left for them to get worse. So that's the story on that. I want you to look down there. This is down there is Willow Creek, and it's pretty much the thickest swath of redwood riparian forest there is in this region, and it is insane down there. It's like, it feels prehistoric almost. It's quite amazing. Anyways, I want to get up here. Such fresh air. Oh, it feels good. That cool ocean breeze. I mean, how can you hate something like this? Yeah, you gotta be fucked up, I don't get it. How do you see this and just think wasted land? Such a stupid mindset. Appreciate what you have, and when it's gone, you'll regret it. Yeah. Yep. And we wiped out those who even thought otherwise, because of course they wouldn't comply. They wouldn't agree with, you're going to cut down the resources I need to stay alive, you know, my community of people, for your own gain. Sick. You know, so solution, kill them. It's just the way human history will continue to repeat itself if it's allowed to be. It can be different, people. You believe that? Try to do something to improve your community, help people. I know it won't feel like you're helping sometimes. It feels like you're getting dragged into their problems. I get it. But you'll be a better person. You help others. You gain from them. You gain things from them that you wouldn't have thought about. You'll gain knowledge, experience, understanding, sympathy. It goes on. And you know, if that sounds like weak pussy shit to you, I don't know how I can help you. But God, look at this. Some nice fire happened here, baby. Oh, I was like, maybe like last year, some 5 or 4 years ago, and I was thinking, boy, this place needs some fire to clear the understory, and it got it. So let's observe what is growing in the aftermath. So from the rejuvenation of some of this lower canopy stuff, the trees, the burn marks, and the rejuvenation, this probably happened about a year or two ago. Not bad. I'm seeing an abundance of thistle on the margins of the forest. One of the most amazing ferns we have. It's like the most fire-proof fern. It's incredible. I've seen entire swaths of redwood forest burn, and guess who's back first? This guy. The western sword fern, Polypodium. Hold up, not Polypodium, excuse me. Polysticum midnightum. I was thinking about polypodies. I saw some earlier down the trail. Good shit. Yeah, this place was over. Oh, I see quail. Nice. And no, man, this shit was overgrown a few years ago. You couldn't even see up to there. Some 20 feet of just a bunch of branches and stuff, which is pretty to look at, but this is in a way better. What do we have here? What is that? It looks like a cracked egg. Oh, it's a fungus. Fungus among us. Oh, I wonder what that is. I'm not very good at identifying fungi, so I won't even try. I can't even tell if it's a mycorrhiza. Oh, it's probably saprotrophic, given that it's growing off of a bark. What do we have here? Yeah, this was what, like, oh, no. We got some different. This is a good guy. We got, oh, shoot. Forgot its botanical name, but the salmonberry, Rubus, is it spectrabilis, I think, is like a wild raspberry, colloquially called the salmonberry. Cool. Nice redwood. That's a chonker. Maybe about 12 feet in diameter at the base. Height approximately 250, or no, more than that, 290. So that puts it in an approximate age of, oh, hard to say, maybe 500 years old. Could be younger or older. Hard to say, you know? What do we have here? Urtica dioica, the stinging nettle. A wonderful plant in the Urticaceae family. It won't hurt you to just gently grace the tops of their leaves. If you were to bash into the plant and with your bare skin on the undersides of the leaves or the stems, if you can see those stems, can we? Come on. Come on. Great plant though. Quite valuable because if you value nutrition, I guess, if that's what helps you get into plants, I respect it. I won't knock you for it. Is the stinging nettle has way more nutritional benefits than kale, which I believe was marketed as a superfood, but if you're allergic to it and things that are related to it, it's not much of a help to you. So I'd rather eat, if I was given the choice, the stinging nettles. And there's another big redwood. Gorgeous bastard. Carrying on, here's that damn invasive. I think that's the invasive. I can't tell you. Thistle. So this place was given the name Red Hill because of this red colored dirt, which is broken down, very eroded chert rock. And chert is a type of rock that is derived from organic beings known as diatoms, and it took millions of years to form, of course. So, layer upon layer of dead diatoms. These diatoms have silicone in their bodies, and I believe it's because of the way that the silicone reacts with the oxygen. You get this red color. It's like a rusty. It must have some iron in it too. And damn cat tongue weeds, Get them out of here, little fuckers. And great soil, beautiful color. Kind of reminds me of the sandstone of the Utah, but it's totally different, geologically speaking, than that. Again, view like no other, man. Overlooking this vast landscape. And there's little pockets of civilization around there, along the rivers and in the hills. I see a damn quarry over there, but You can even see that's Mount St. Helena. Way over there, I think almost 100 miles. Where is it? I can't. There it is. Way over in the horizon. Nice. My car is way down there at the bottom of that hill. So it's good shit. I also see a lot of these ferns out here in the grasslands. Pteridium aquilinum, the bracken fern, as it's called. These plants have the ability to put phosphorus into the soil by some kind of bacterial or process, some relationship that they have. Oh, here we got some poppies coming up. Little right there, some little California poppies, Eschscholzia californica, very abundant in the coastal and semi montane regions. Here's one in bloom. How kind of you to still be in bloom, little dude. Yeah, California poppy, the state flower. Eschscholzia californica. I guess named after some dude called Eschscholz or something. Oh, here's some of that chert rock. See that? Red. Good shit. From dead marine life that became lithified, which means turned into rock. And got slept onto the continent after it was formed, of course. And over the millennia of erosion, exposes this layer and then continues to degrade it, breaking it down into little components like the what you see here, little gravelly stuff. And as a growing medium for plants, it's, I guess, not too great. Probably low in nutrients, low in water retention, erodes easily, low in organic material. But yeah, unfortunately, all this grass has overtaken it. Look at this bullshit, man. It shouldn't look like this, but it is, and it's all our fault. Carrying on. Fucking hey. Still beautiful though, There's that little pocket of redwoods again. I forgot the altitude of this hill. Something like 1,000, I believe. The weather up here is perfect. It's a little warm for my liking, but at least it's sunny, right? Ain't happy, I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on. Friggin' A. Shout out to gorillas. can't see my screen. The damn sun is in my face. But I love it. Gotta love it, dude. See all that ocean. The biggest ocean on the planet. The Pacific fucking Ocean. Oh yeah. Anyways, that's all I got for you. Have a good one.